Hi, Eric Lanask with TMC. We're here at Cloud Expo. I'm talking with Paul Speciale from Appcara. Paul, thanks for joining me today.
Hi Eric, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, a lot of great things going on. I've heard an awful lot of excitement around cloud and what's taking place. What are some of the exciting things that you're seeing happening?
Sure, so what we're really focused on is sort of the next level up in the stack, which is the application layer above the clouds. We think that companies have spent the last few years really getting comfortable with the notion of cloud, especially infrastructure clouds. And what do you want to do with a cloud? You want to start servers for the purpose of running apps. So what we've gone after is really an approach to make it much easier to put more complex workloads, say enterprise apps and distributed apps in the cloud. So that's the kind of the trend that we're hooking onto.
And what's the result of that trend for you?
Well, what we're starting to see is that service providers specifically have wanted to get out there with offerings that are differentiated from other infrastructure clouds. And so what they want to do is stand up a marketplace of apps and offer that out to their end users. So to make it really easy to say onboard a CRM app or an ERP app, provide the user kind of a very point and click type of experience and have things running in minutes, and thereby offer them a value that, rather than spending hours to get this thing onboarded, they can do it in minutes and be very, very productive. So that's something that service providers love, and we're starting to transition that now into the enterprise for private clouds that people are standing up.
So what's required in order to enable that?
Well, really the base thing that's required is to have a cloud running, right? So the audience that we've gone after typically has an on-premises cloud. They'll base it on one of the popular layers like VMware or Citrix Cloud Platform, OpenStack, AppLogic. There's a lot of choices out there. Once they're comfortable with that and they can stand up servers and storage pools in the cloud, they're really ready to go, right? Because that's sort of the base layer that we call into. So our layer is, think of it as a thin layer that manages the apps on top of that cloud, so we sort of depend on the API being there for the cloud.
Does it matter to you which cloud they use?
It doesn't, other than we want to integrate with the API of the cloud, and we've got 10 of them onboarded now that we're integrated with, all the popular ones, but there's always a new request coming down the pike. We kind of try to gauge it on customer demand, so the next ones that are on the docket for us are Microsoft Azure, Google App Engine is coming up, and then we've done OpenStack for public clouds like Rackspace and HP, but to do OpenStack for internal clouds is really another a next step for us.
How'd you get started? What drove you to this?
It's actually a really interesting story. We came out of the data center space ourselves, where we built a public cloud service for one of the major providers. And if you think about it, building a cloud is building a big application in the cloud, right? That's innately what it is. What we realized is that standing up complex applications, meaning ones that consisted of many components, was still very manual, very time consuming, very error prone. We repeated a lot of stuff, and we said, there's got to be a way to automate this and make it easier. So that was the spark behind the company, and we decided to create a platform that automates all that. So that was really the thinking that led to it, was our own experience directly.
How do you ensure security at the application layer?
We can do a lot of things. We can integrate with native security elements in the cloud, like firewalls. We provide our own layer of access control. We have certificates for secure access so that we encrypt the traffic. So really we can leverage the infrastructure, and then we can layer on top of that other security mechanisms that people want within the app itself.
What's next for Appcara?
I think the big thing for us now is to expand out from the service provider world into the enterprise, and we've recently introduced a product that does that. So we have our flagship that's for service providers. We now actually have a single VM product that can be downloaded on the web, and it's something that people can install in a single virtual machine. I can run it on a laptop like my Mac, and I can use it to manage apps in, say, Amazon or Rackspace. So it's very simple to install, very quick, and it brings us sort of down market from the big enterprise service providers.
Do you think the recent news surrounding the NSA and its prison program is going to have any impact on enterprise utilization or enterprise migration into the cloud?
Well, I'm not sure I'd know how to answer that one. That one sounds a little bit out of my sphere, but we see a lot of people really pulling themselves into public cloud, but keeping also their applications that are critical in private clouds. And one of the things I think that we can tie in on there is that we make it portable, right? So as users want to deploy things for dev test, they can choose the appropriate cloud, and as they want to produce things that are more mission critical and secure, they can put them in on-premises clouds. And we sort of decouple from the cloud layer to give you that portability and not lock you into any particular environment.
Excellent, Paul. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot, Eric.
I'm Eric Lanask with TMC. Follow all of our Cloud Expo coverage in the TMC Video Newsroom.